44 Super interesting facts about tattoos. The tattoo is placed in the middle of the skin, or in other words in the second layer of the skin. The cells in the middle of the skin are significantly more durable than the cells in the outer skin, which, in general, last a lifetime. The least fading and scattering happens on them. According to a 2012 survey, in the United States, women are more likely to have tattoos than men, 23% versus 19%. According to a 2006 study, 36% of 18 to 25-year-olds and 40% of 26 to 40-year-olds have had a tattoo at least once. According to the National Geographic Society, in April 2000, 15% of Americans, 40 million people, had a tattoo. Americans spend about $1.65 billion annually on tattoos. A tattoo machine consists of 4 parts: 1, a needle; 2, a tube that holds the ink; 3, an electric motor; 4, a foot pedal to control the movement, like a sewing machine pedal. After Charles Lindbergh's baby, American aviator, author, inventor and explorer, was stolen in 1932, many families worried about their children tattooed them. Sometimes urine is used to mix tattoo ink. The skin of all parts of the body is not the same, and the color of the tattoo does not last the same in all parts of the body. For example, tattoos done on the elbows, knuckles, and feet fade faster. The most famous parts of the body that are tattooed are the waist, wrists, feet, ankles, armband, back, arm, chest, breast and neck. Women are twice as likely to have their tattoos removed compared to men. After Social Security cards were issued in 1936, men and women tattooed their numbers on their arms. Throughout history, the person who has the most tattoos on his body is Gregory Paul McLaren, 1971, also known as Lucky Diamond Rich. He has done 100% tattoos on his body, so that the skin of the penis, the inside of the mouth, and the inside of the ears of this person are also tattooed. Show me someone with tattoos and I'll show you someone with an interesting past. Jack London. Tattoo artist Vinnie Myers creates 3D breast tattoos for women who have survived breast cancer. UV tattoos are produced with inks that are completely invisible in daylight but glow completely under UV light. The second most tattooed person in the world was Tom Leopard, 1934, from Scotland. Also known as Leopard Man, 99.9% of his body was covered in tattoos. The only parts of his body that were not tattooed were between his toes and inside his ears. To get a tattoo, the skin is pressed 50 to 3,000 times per minute by the tattoo machine. Laser surgery is the most effective way to remove a tattoo. The laser penetrates the skin and breaks the pigments so that these pigments are carried naturally by the body's immune system. Black color is easily destroyed because it absorbs more laser waves. Green and yellow are more difficult to remove. Some descendants of Holocaust survivors tattoo the numbers of their family members' detention centers on their arms to remember their family history. The oldest body left behind is the Iceman, 320 to 330 years BC, who has the oldest tattoo in history on his skin. A black cross is tattooed on the mummy's left knee, 6 straight lines on her waist, and parallel lines on her ankles, feet, and wrists. When the scientists x-rayed the mummy, they discovered that a common joint disease was present under each tattoo, which indicated that the tattoo alleviated the pain of the disease. Archaeologists have discovered tools in France, Portugal, and Scandinavia that may have been used for tattooing. The life of these tools goes back to 12,000 years ago, or the last ice age. The Greeks learned tattooing from the Persians and used it to mark slaves and criminals so that they could be easily identified if they tried to escape. The Romans also learned tattooing from the Greeks and carved the word "thug," which means fugitive, on the foreheads of slaves. According to research by Oxygen Media TV channel, in 2012, 59% of tattooed people were women. The most common pictures that were engraved on the skin of these women were pictures of hearts and angels. Stone sculptures in China dating back to the 3rd century BC depict men with tattoos on their faces. A few hundred years later, the philosopher Confucius discouraged people from tattooing because he believed that the human body is a gift from his parents and ancestors and should not be tattooed on it. Lato believed that people accused of blasphemy should be forcibly tattooed and ostracized from society. Caligula, a sadistic emperor, used to amuse himself by ordering court members to be tattooed so that he could enjoy their suffering. In 787 AD, Pope Hadrian banned any tattooing, even on criminals and gladiators. From then on, tattooing remained virtually unknown in the Christian world until, in the 19th century, Judaism and Islam also encouraged people not to tattoo. Animal imagery is the most common tattoo theme in many cultures and is traditionally associated with magic, animal spirits patronizing a person, and a person's desire to be recognized by animal spirits. Tattooing was introduced in the fall of 1941 in the Auschwitz camp and in March of the same year in the Birkenau camp. These two camps were the only two camps where prisoners were tattooed. Tattoos were done on the chest and generally on the arms. Only those who were working were tattooed. Polynesian tattooing, which was created before Europeans arrived in the Pacific Ocean, was the most complex and skillful tattooing in the world. Although tattoo designs can be seen on paintings and statues of ancient Egyptian men and women, however, all Egyptian tattooed mummies that have been discovered so far are women. Egyptian archaeologists believe that these designs are a sign of fertility and renewed youth. The most famous tattoos among criminal tattoos are done on the Japanese mafia, the Yakuza. All over the world, even the smallest tattoo can represent prisoners. For example, in England, a small dot on the cheek indicates that the person lives in a penitentiary. The 3 dots between the thumb and forefinger indicate gang affiliation among the Latino population of the United States. In Japan, tattooing is called arizumi. Japanese tattoo artists have been influenced by various Western tattoo artists including George Burchett, Sailor Jerry Collins, and Don Ed Hardy. It is said that the pain of a tattoo is like the pain of a bee sting or the pain of a sunburn. Although according to assumptions, HIV can be spread through tattooing, but to date, no case of this disease being spread through tattooing has been reported. Other diseases such as syphilis and hepatitis B and C can also be spread through tattoos. It is rare that tattoo ink contains metal. Such tattoos may cause pain during the MRI or affect the results of the MRI. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration does not monitor or approve tattoo ink. Copying specific designs that have been tattooed on people's bodies is considered unethical in the world of body art. Some tattoo artists do not even copy the designs on mummies because they believe that such tattoos belong only to mummies who have these tattoos on their bodies. The exceptions to this taboo are children and grandchildren copying the tattoos of their parents and grandparents to keep them alive. Although the amount of tattoo pain depends on the individual, the parts of the body that cause more pain when tattooing are on the bones such as the wrist bone, collarbone, chest, ribs and spine. Johnny Depp once said, "My body, my newspaper and my tattoos are my story." In 2007, rocker Tommy Lee became the first person to register his name in the Guinness Book of Records by getting a tattoo on a private flight to Miami. Research has shown that adults with tattoos are more sexually active than adults without tattoos. Additionally, according to research, adults with tattoos engage in more risky behaviors. King Harold II of England had many tattoos on his body. After the Battle of Hastings in 1066, these tattoos were used to identify his body. During the 18th, 19th and early 20th centuries, tattooing was very popular in the English and Russian kingdoms. These tattoos were so expensive that ordinary people could not afford them. When it became affordable for the lower class of society, tattooing was seen as nonsense until a rebirth of tattooing emerged in the middle of the 20th century.